with Alex at Fujikura, and we hear a lot about fitting and high-end fitting these days, and people who don't get fit, which they should. Inside here, we're in your Enzo fitting studio, and it's pretty high-tech. So I want you to do your best to explain it to me as to what all of these sensors are. We've got cameras all over the place.
Sure.
What they're going to do for a guy like me to get fit here.
Sure. Well, Enzo to us is a high-speed motion capture system. It's high accuracy, high frame rate. What it's doing is it's using these 8 motion capture cameras to throw infrared light at these markers you see on the club, which you call nubs. And we're triangulating on their location in 3D space to find their position as you swing with high precision and accuracy. And then from there, we can do some modeling that determines the behavior of the shaft to the swing, and therefore the orientation changes due to the shaft changes, and how those all can factor into how the shaft is fit and the club is fit to the individual.
Okay, I'm going to pretend like I understood some of that. Basically, you have these nubs.
Those nubs.
That was the scientific term, right?
Yeah.
And when I swing, you can track it with some of these cameras.
I could track each point in 3D space, and therefore kind of know how you swung the club, because these guys kind of define where the handle is, and then how the shaft will bend and twist in reaction to your swing, right? And how it'll kick, for example. I can measure that, and all those kind of changes will change the orientation of the club face. Okay, it'll either point it to the left, more right, more up, or more down. We can either add more attack or take away attack. We can add more path or take away path, and we can understand how all those shaft behaviors are the things that we influence in the design are affected by your swing.
And how does that make me a better golfer?
Well, now it's getting into the nitty gritty of actually true fitting, right? I think in most time in fitting, it's a very it's often difficult to track a lot of these things that are happening at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And so right now, I think a lot of fitters will be more in tune to things like launch and spin. Those are really easy things to work on. But in shaft design, what we've seen is that when you change a loft, you could jack a lot of other things too, like direction or attack or path.
Okay.
So sometimes you want to maximize multiple things and try to not sacrifice as many things as you can. For example, you might have a shaft that might have the right spin, but now it's leaving a ball to the right. You didn't want that. Right? Now what we have the ability to do is understand a lot of the shaft design characteristics, so we can find the right recipes to create the ball flight that fits your swing.
And this right here, kind of a readout from the Enzo system, right?
Yeah.
From all of the different sensors,
Right.
and you can see that my swing is
Pretty good.
Yeah,
That's a really damn good swing. And yeah, and so right here is just it's a visual to see the club moving in space, how it goes in the backswing and what path it takes in the downswing. We can move through that in 3D. But this, to me, is just eye candy. Really what we're getting is data from this. And the data is the most valuable part of this. This is actually a very high-end data acquisition system, which gives us thousands of data points in literally 30 seconds and for each swing. We take all that, we do some crazy statistical data analysis modeling to predict the right shaft for your swing.
And how difficult is it? Do you have like some kind of fitting matrix where you look at all of those data points and you're like, all right, boom, it's going to be Atmos?
Yeah, that's exactly true. But what it does is it all goes to a computer program.
So you don't have to sit there by hand and do all the math.
It gets down to what we call artificial intelligence, right? The way Netflix tries to predict what movie you should watch or what Amazon thinks you should add to your shopping cart because you bought something else. We're using the same types of analytics applied to golf shafts, okay? So you have a certain type of swing. We're gonna measure a lot of swings here in this system, and then we're gonna measure a lot of different shafts with different properties. We're extracting what those shaft properties will do for different swings. We're writing an equation that says this type of swing input plus this type of shaft gives this result. We check all the AI does a lot of that equation. Mm-hmm. And then we say, okay, look, what happens if we change the shaft? If it's an equation now, what would happen? We could predict it. What if we change the swing? Put that number in there, it's just an equation, solve it. So that's in a nutshell what Enzo's turning out to be. It's really a helpful tool for us, not only in design, but in player evaluation and also in R&D, right? And in fitting. Those are where we're taking it.